Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with mysticgenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho, and today I would like to offer the air elemental reading, which covers the energy of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius in the zodiac. And if you have had your charts typed out, printed out, however that works for you, you'll see that there's a section on there that talks about the elements, and if air is high in your charts, then this messages are for you. And these messages are timeless, so even if you're watching it outside of August of 2023, you still can get something out of them. And as I am doing through this quarter, I am introducing the I-ching at the beginning, and then we'll go into the tarot and oracle reading afterwards. So we'll get started with that. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, please drop a like, comment away as you feel led, and we will get into this month's intuitive reading. So the hexagram that was cast, I cast these all earlier, for the air energy for the month of August is hexagram 19. It's this one. Hopefully it shows up with the yellow. It is the approach. It says, approach sublime success, righteous persistence brings reward. However, when the 8th month is reached, misfortune befall. Now that's not a good sign considering it's the 8th month. But well, let's see if there's a footnote here. And so in the 8th moon of the lunar calendar is September, so August should be okay. The commentary from the book is, in this hexagram, the strong is well watered and grows large. Joy and willing acceptance are conjoined to the firm line, central line, which is in the lower trigram here, this one here. Finds response. Great success is won in rectifying things, which is the way of heaven, but misfortune will follow, indicates that this success will wane. But doesn't mean you're failing, it just means you're going to have a spike and then it's going to taper off a little bit. So, we'll go through the lines here, and I'll hold this up intermittently. The first line is the bottom, and it's, all approach righteous persistence will bring good fortune. And so this is staying persistent, following your heart's path or your divine message, divine path, however that comes forward for you, is the way you're going to actually succeed. The persistence, though, is the trick, is staying dedicated, that discipline to keep doing it even when you're not seeing much going on. That's your foundation, is just that persistence is going to be what gets you where you need to go. The second line is, all approach good fortune, nothing is unfavorable. So you're still working with this very positive flowing energy, but your foundation is the persistence. So stay focused this month of August especially. The third line, which is the first broken line here, it says, a willing approach, but there is nowhere towards which it would be advantageous to set out. Feeling regret on that account involves no error. So even if something's not going quite right, or you feel like you made a mistake and you're looking back going, oh, I should have done that differently. Basically what they're saying is, right now you're still doing all right. That foundation has been laid. You're, righteous persistence, that sticking to the course that you know is correct. Take other people's thoughts into, under consideration, but your persistence, your dedication is what's going to help you out here. The fourth line is, a perfect approach, no error. Still flying strong here. The fifth line is, a wise approach suited to a great prince, good fortune. So this is where you don't want to go too far to one extreme or the other. That middle path, the princely path, was not an extreme of over masculine, over feminine. It's the middle path, and that's the energy that they're really talking about. Even though your path, if you look, is this great open space in between, that's because that's the path that you want to be on. You want to be where things are more open and flowing going through this month. And the top line is a I hate this word, Magnanimous approach, good fortune, no error. So overall, there's a lot of positive energy flowing in for you this month. It's really focusing on dedication, discipline, righteous dedication, which is following a divine path, following a divine calling. So you're really working with this divine energy coming forward in this month of August. So be paying attention to your intuition, following those gut instincts. Listen to what other people have to say. Take their advice, but judge it via your connection to source, your intuitive powers, and your gut instincts, because those are what is that divine guidance that will be coming through. Your foundation is based on that for the month of August. So, moving into the tarot, I read intuitively. So, messages on the card may not always match what comes out, and I read for a guide or guardian for each week, a message from source, and then a lesson or challenge from the tarot. And there's 5 weeks in August, so there'll be 5 separate little readings here. So if you're interested in any of the decks that I am using, they are all linked in the description box down below. I cut the cards before we started, and time to shuffle. And our first guide or guardian is the Yes card. So the first week is really about, what are you resisting? What is it that you kind of want, or you something that you're seeing like that, but you keep telling yourself, no, I have to wait. The angels are coming in saying, this is the time to say yes. What is it you're wanting to create? What is it you've been working on that you may not even be consciously aware of this, but you might be holding that manifestation back because you just don't feel worthy, or you're just not quite ready. The angels are saying, let that manifestation in, say yes. So really work on saying yes to the things that feed your soul this first week, and releasing the stuff that doesn't. Say yes to letting it go as well. But you want to make sure that you're using the positive affirmations this first week. So let's see what Source has in a message for us. And we have the Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing. So you're saying yes to things as they're coming in, and it's because the timing is right. The timing has been being adjusted for a while, and when you look at this, the interweaving on the clock, it's very intricate, meaning things have been dialing and realigning and setting up just for this moment in time. So now everything is ready to go. You just have to say yes to it. And that's that moving forward part of building that platform. You've built a very strong foundation going forward here. And so now it's time to stand on that foundation, and what are you creating? And saying yes to allowing it in, and yes to releasing the stuff that's not working. So there's that duality in the yes thing, because everyone's like, oh yes, I have to have all this. But you also can say yes to letting it go too. Your lesson or challenge, from the tarot, is the Princess of Summer. Gentle, sensitive, kind, but inexperienced. A new relationship or emotional experience, invitations to social events, a compassionate friend you share your concerns with. You don't have to go it alone. Air tends towards the logical and the structured, and at times that makes them seem aloof and want to stand away from other people. But the lesson or challenge is, you don't have to go it alone. Go to the social gatherings. Say yes to the things that feed your soul. And even when you're feeling like, oh, I don't really want to, but when someone's like, well, if we don't have to go do that, let's go do this instead, and that other thing really sparks, that is guidance. Let's go check that out. So it's really about opening up to the emotional side, which is not something the air does unless they go too far the other direction. Then they become the little more airy aspect of themselves, the airhead version. But sometimes you need to let go of the structure, the logic, and the need for knowledge, and have experience, because knowledge and experience is where you get wisdom. You can have all the knowledge in the world, doesn't mean you're smart. You can have all the experiences in the world, doesn't mean you're smart. Knowledge plus experience is wisdom, and that's what's coming forward for you in this first week. So your second week's guide is the Angels of Self-Acceptance. Saying yes is part one, but then accepting yourself. Sometimes that's a challenge, because from a logical standpoint, well, if I accept myself, I'm saying that this is where that I'm okay where I'm at. You are, but you can still improve. When you have self-acceptance, this, the little random pimple, which is weird, or your hair's not the right shade, or it's not long enough. Fine. What can you do to improve? But can you accept who you are in this moment? When you accept this, then you can achieve greater, because you can see where you're starting from and then steps to take to get to the next level. If you can't accept now, where are you starting from? You have this beautiful future over here. Where are you starting from? Self-acceptance is saying, I love me for me. There are things I can improve on, and I will take the necessary steps from where I'm standing now. And the self-acceptance angels can help show you the way to work with that, because that's not an easy tool to work with in most cases. And if it's easy for you, awesome. But looking in the mirror and just saying, I accept me and I love me as I am, is very powerful. So that could be an exercise to work on the second week, is just to take 5 minutes and look yourself right in the eyes in the mirror and repeat that. I love myself as I am, and I accept myself as I stand now. That way you start to really bring that knowledge of, I'm okay in this moment, and then you can go through the day, I'm good here, but how can I be better? Because you change the dynamic of the thought pattern by having a foundation to move forward from. Your message from Source is skywriting the fates. How are the fates interacting with you? The fates weave your existence. We, mere mortals, usually don't have a lot of say if you look to the old Greek myths. But reality is, we do actually have a lot more to say. We can put our input into the fates. The 3 fates will weave our lives, in addition to what the gods have said, but also to what we are asking for. So looking at the stars, looking at up to the sky, just enjoying that quietness. And as you're doing that, daydream. Allow yourself the beauty of daydreaming, and then write into that big cloth in the sky what it is that you are looking to create. Doesn't always have to be something major. It could be just, I want to create peace. I want those around me to be at peace. I want to find a better place to be. And that's all part of this energy of looking forward and looking upwards. But the fates in the old myths came across as a little bit hostile, but it's because the people weren't paying attention to what they were asking for, or they were asking the wrong questions. Just like anyone else, especially in the spirit world, know what you're asking, because they will find ways to trick you just because you're not asking clear questions. Note for future. Your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the High Priestess. We have a major arcana card here. So you're working with the divine feminine, but you're also working with female elders. And it could be a family elder, an ancestor. It could be someone that you look up to in this world who is a female and an older than you. And the High Priestess energy is a connection to God Source divine energy. So it's not connecting directly to, or you're not connected into the divine feminine. There's a go-between that you're looking for knowledge that can help guide you to the divine feminine, and that's what's coming forward. So you're working with self-acceptance generally, especially in today's world, tends to be something that tends to be more feminine, but it's also in the masculine, so we all have this thing going on. And when you're setting those daydreams, you're asking the fates for things. You're really asking, the fates were female, so you're working with that energy of, what is it that I can do to improve? I like where I am right now. We're good. But if I wanted to get better, how do I do that? And so you're working with a little bit more of the feminine energy the second week, and that's the lesson that's coming forward. It's not so much a challenge unless working with that aspect is new to you, but it's a lesson of tapping into your feminine elder side and finding out what it is they know. You might be surprised by the insights you pick up from that. And our third week guide is friendship and union. This is building connections. This is working with others, but it doesn't always have to be in a work situation. This could be having a friend that you just go and have fun with. You go to the movies with, you go to the water park with. And the angels that are coming in saying, again, you don't have to go it alone. You've got friends out there, you can utilize them. Even if they're not the ones that call you first, you can call them and be like, yo, what's going on? Let's go have a coffee, or, whatever it is that you wanted to go do. But this third week is really about connecting into your friendships and your relationships in a deeper way than what you normally would, versus just texting them being like, hey, what's going on? Give them a phone call. Make that connection. Reaffirm those friendship links this third week. And our lesson, or our message from Source, is Horsemen, heralds of change. As you're connecting with your friend circle, you might be bringing in a new friend. It could be a shifting in the dynamic of your friendships. Some of you are bringing in a new romantic relationship. They just brought that forward, that there's going to be there could be a new change in the dynamic of a friendship, where you go from just being platonic friends to being more. And that's what they're saying, is this working with the friendship aspect primarily, and those unions of meeting between people, but you're also bringing in some changes. So the friendship dynamic could be changes, and they're saying it's really a positive aspect. It could go from friend to best friend. It could go from friend to partner romantically. And they're saying that there's some of you who this third week is going to come forward with something a little bit more on the romantic side. So that's something to be aware of. But the Horseman brings change. The change generally comes pretty quickly. It could blindside you, is what they're saying, is it just pops in all of a sudden and you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? So just be heads up that things are shifting in the friendship world in this third week. Your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the number 19, Major Arcana. It's the Sun. Plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards, gratitude for blessings. Are you showing gratitude for the things in your life? Are you looking at the way, well, I don't have the nice clothes, I don't have the nice car, I don't have. Okay, do you have a car that gets you from point A to point B and runs really good? Well, yeah, show gratitude for that. You may not have the job that you want, but you have a job. So there's all these little things that you can work into with the Sun, showing that gratitude, because the Sun is about bringing life, warming things up, making them feel more bright and cheery. And so your challenge is you're working with friends this week. You're reconnecting. There's some changes occurring within the friend dynamics, and show gratitude for it. Even if one of those dynamic changes might be a friend leaves your inner circle, that's fine. Be grateful for the time that you had with them, and really tap into that warming up situations versus, man, it's really sad or it's really depressing. How can you make it more warm? How can you bring the sun into it where you light up rooms instead of the other way? So let's look at the fourth week of August for our air signs here and air energies. Must be a good guide because it's not kicking one out just quickly here. But and if you guys midstream here, if you haven't hit the like button yet, go ahead and hit that little button if you're enjoying this video. And like I said, comment away as long as it's respectful. I do read my comments when they come through. So your guide or guardian is the romance and connection angels. So these are the angels that are going to take what happened in the third week and they're going to help deepen it. So it could be a new connection that is coming in, like the friendship part, but that Horseman, the heralds of change, is bringing in a little bit of a romance. They keep showing me that for some people under the air banner. And the angels in this fourth week are coming forward to say, now we've got this thing started. How can we support with you? What is it that you need from us to help make this relationship deepen? How can we help it become more defined? And if there's questions, ask the angels, especially the romance angels in this fourth week, how to go about it, because sometimes relationships can be weird, especially if it's been someone that you've known for a while and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this is a different dynamic. And that's where you can ask the angels to help guide you through those first few hiccups, because it can be a little interesting at those points. Your message from Source is the Dragon's Horde, protecting the future. The romance angels are coming in. You've set things up in the third week, and it's because what they're showing me is it's changing quickly. The dynamic is changing quickly within the friend groups, but it's going to set something up for a golden reward. The dragons hoard the shiny, they hoard the valuable. So what's coming in is something that you're going to pull in. It's going to be something that's valuable to you. Other people might look at it and go like, what is going on? Don't matter. They don't matter. What you are valuing in that relationship is what is important. And that's what the dragon's hoard is saying, is this is that time to really pull the things that are important to you closer. It could be that new relationship. It could be your family. It could be just bringing your friends closer and reconnecting. But they're really saying that this fourth week is about that drawing in the things that you value, and going back to the third week, showing the gratitude. And it could be something as simple as inviting everybody over for a barbecue some afternoon or whatever, but it's something simple where you don't have to say thank you, but you're showing gratitude for them being in your lives, and they might reciprocate in ways that you don't realize either. So because it's not just a one-way street. Gratitude you give out, but you also receive. So let's see what the tarot has to say as this card flies out of the deck. We have the 10 of Winter, the resolution of difficulties, a weight lifted off your shoulders, the end of an addiction or codependency. So the lesson or the challenge here is, what are you letting go of? And it could be an emotional addiction. It could be an emotional codependency with someone that you're trying to step away from. You have all this new energy, and they're really, I don't know why they keep emphasizing the relationship part, but they're really talking about these new relationships. The 10 of Winter is saying this is going to help you deal with stuff that's been kind of building up for a while and you weren't sure how to handle it, so you just kept stepping back like, I'm not going to handle it, I'm just going to let it go. And it's going to resolve in this fourth week, is what they're saying. That stress, that tension of like watching it go on or trying to keep out of it, that's going to lift as well. So you're going to have a lot more freedom from the lesson if you let it go. And then that comes into that codependency. Sometimes the dependency is on the emotional addiction, the charge from being in that situation. And in this fourth week, is it necessary? You have a new relationship, your friendships are changing, but you're pulling the important ones in. Do you really still need the drama? This fourth week is like, just let it go. That's kind of the lesson and that they're bringing forward, and it could be a challenge. But the stuff that's just not working, the stuff that doesn't feed your soul, thank you. There you go. You can leave now. So let's look at the fifth week. I looked at the wrong set of cards. Fifth week here, and we have the listen deeply. So you've got an interesting relationship, kind of friendship relationship, any of your relationships going on here, because you said yes to stuff, also said yes to releasing. The second week, you were accepting who you are in the moment. That doesn't mean you can't get better, you always can, but you're accepting where you are, so you're setting a foundation. But then you work with the friendships, you're building and reconnecting. From there you build into something that could be a little bit more romantic. This fifth week is, now that the connections are built, you listen, not just hear. This is important, don't get me wrong. You have 2 of these and 1 of these. Use these more. But it's also about connecting and communicating heart to heart, mind to mind, and that's where you deepen that connection. That listening deeply, it's not listening to just to hear it. You're listening to understand the other person, and that's the message and the angels that are coming forward is during this 5th week, last week of August. How can you listen and understand the other person a little bit better? These angels are coming in to help guide you, to help show you the way to do that. It may come through dreams, so pay attention to those during this 5th week. And it could just come from you reading something in a book and all of a sudden it snaps. You could be watching a TV show on something completely random, but this one phrase will pop out at you and it clicks. That's what that means. So this 5th week is really, you have the angels coming in to help you listen at a deeper level, which is going to increase your intuition, hopefully, but it's also going to give you more of a way to communicate with your partners and your friend group. So we are in, the message from Source is the Wailing Tree, reconciliation. This is the time to listen and understand. Sometimes it's why certain people have drifted away, Doesn't mean you can't be friends with them, they're just not your inner circle anymore. And this wailing tree is a time for reconciling. Sometimes it's just reconciling in your head that that person's no longer in your friend group. It could be reconciling that this relationship dynamic has shifted. And reconciliation is not always a bad thing. It means to come to a new understanding, basically. And that's what they're saying is coming to a new understanding. You're listening at a deeper level, which is allowing you to understand the communication, the verbal, the emotional, and the mental communications, but also allowing you to see the pattern as to why things kind of went the way they did. And the message from Source is trust it, and allow yourself to understand it, and then you can see how everything fit together and why it did fit the way it did. So let's look at your lesson or challenge for this last week of August 2023 air signs. Interesting, it's not popping forward there. Whoa, as it leapt out of the deck. Okay. We have the Queen of Winter, strong, patient, self-sufficient, funny. Let go of people or things that no longer serve you. Now is the time to focus on your career, unmarried or divorced individuals. So if you're single, enjoy it, is what they're saying. And also allow your job to kind of be a little bit more of your focus. And that could be a difficult thing because you're like, but I've got to be social, I've got to do all this. You can. Doesn't mean you have to give up on work either. But the main part about this is being patient. If you're not connecting and your friend group's shifted a little bit, but not the way you may have thought it would, that's fine. Be patient. My guides are also saying that the relationship part is actually the big dynamic that's going to be changing through here. And so the unmarried or divorced is not really that important with this particular card. It's really about letting go. As we've went through this, you're saying the first week it was saying yes to receiving, yes to releasing, and that's kind of what we're working with is what is it you're bringing in, what is it you can let go of. That's also a dynamic in relationships. So you're working with kind of letting some stuff go, and being self-sufficient means you don't need to be in the relationship. You choose to because it helps both of you grow stronger with each other individually. That self-sufficiency part sometimes gets lost in relationships, and the Queen of Winter is saying, no, you are still you, they are still them. Keep your individuality as you grow as in a relationship, friendship, coupleship, whatever ship. But really pay attention to those details is what she's saying, and really keep your own identity as you are growing in this relationship, whatever that ship may be. And that's where that self-sufficiency and being strong is coming in. But also being strong is being okay with letting stuff go. When it doesn't working, it's not feeding your heart, it's not feeding your soul, letting it go is massive. Not always easy. So that's messages that have come through. So hopefully those resonate for you guys and gals out there. If you enjoyed the video, again, drop a like and subscribe if you're new. With that, I will let you guys go, and I will see you in the next video.